Hey everybody, welcome back to Tavern Talks. I am your wonderful host, Game Master, and Tavern Keeper, and tonight I have a joy for you. Tonight we have Turk from over at the Grouch Couch, and this man has more energy than anybody I think I've met in the TTRPG community for a while now. And I'll tell you, when I found them a few months ago, we were raiding into them. All I saw was lights and spinning and things happening on the screen, so I had to know what was going on. So I snagged Turk from that, and we're going to find out what is going on over there in the Grouch Couch. So Turk, let us know who you are and what's going on over at the Grouch Couch.
Hi, hello, buddy. Hey, thanks for having me today. Yeah, dude, I feel like we planned this out a couple months ago, and
I've been like, I will tell you, ever since I added my little calendar app, it makes my life so much easier, but it books out so fast. So when I talk to people, it's usually 3-4 months out, and then they come on the show. So
dude, I seen your app. I was like, how fucking cool is this? I was like, I need to get me this for all my guest stars. It's pretty dope.
It's so nice.
But thanks for having me, man. Appreciate you. I'm excited to be here to talk about streaming things and chat involvement, which I think is the topic of tonight.
That is the topic of tonight.
And it should be a good time. Cheers, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. You guys rock. It's habit. That's what we do on our show.
No, I appreciate it. But,
so yeah, I am Turk, or GM Turk, or Turkey Dude if you prefer. I'm the producer and the game master, longtime game runner over on the Grouch Couch. The Grouch Couch, we've been doing our thing probably about 6 years or so. We do consider ourselves the Adult Swim of Dungeons and Dragons because we do crazy dumb costumes, and we love to put comedy spins on a lot of your favorite classic Dungeons and Dragons tropes. Like, what would happen if a gnome had sex with a giant? Well, tune in with us and we'll figure it out together. Yeah, very true. So yeah, we like to consider ourselves that, and it's fun stuff, man. We've got a crew of a bunch of lovely talented voice actors and artists and stuff over there on the Grouch Couch. So I'm just blessed to kind of be cat herding, that's what I consider myself.
100%.
Hey guys, I'm like, I don't have the talent, y'all got it. I'm just putting y'all together, baby. That's all we're doing, and it's good stuff. But we do streams, we do podcasts, we've made our own comic book, we do a bunch of different art things, we've made our own homebrew stuff and our own published world, which you can check out in PDF form. It's very fun stuff. And yeah, we do all kinds of shorts and reels and skits and scats and what have yous. So it's a lot of fun stuff. Yeah, we like
awesome,
to
man. Let me make sure I got that information, because I want to make sure that our audience also gets that cool information about the Grouch Couch. So let me pop over to your channel here real quick. And,
cool, man. If you just
grouchcouch.com, and
that's it, baby. It's all on there. It's all on there.
Give them some love.
Yeah. All the scat, he says. Yes. All the scat, I do say.
So, seems to you that you've figured out the puzzle piece, because you've been doing this now for 6 years, where I've only been doing this just almost 3, and we're still trying to figure out those final pieces of the puzzle. One of the ones that I'm curious about, though, is how do you get the audience involved?
Well, it's a fun story, my lad. Take a seat, take a lean back, fill up your drinks, and let's tell us a tale. A Timmy tale of lots of different tales. It will be a story of stories. The most story you've ever storied, my dear friend. Well, through a lot of different trials and tribulations, my man, trials and tribulations. We've been through a lot. We've tried a lot of shit. We've tested out stuff. We've bought and stuff, and tried it, and threw away, and tried out new stuff. We probably have about an audience of 20 people who have still stuck with us over the years, and they could fucking tell you some of the shit that we've tried on our show, because D&D is very finicky, and there's like this balance you have to create, because you still want to be able to tell a story, but you still want chat to be involved. If you let chat take control of everything, all of your NPCs are going to be named Assface, and everyone's going to die. So there's a level of
control you have to keep.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Makes sense.
Sometimes I do let a few ass faces slip through when I'm feeling spicy, but yeah.
Balance is a big deal, right?
Yeah. What I mean, have you ever done any kind of chat interaction things before?
So we have. I mean, we've done, of course, the old school. Hey, if you give channel points, then you can give players extra extra abilities, or game masters can get negatives, that kind of fun stuff. But like, I'm looking more so as how do I get the chat so involved that they feel like they're sitting at the table.
Right.
You know, creating NPC names. I have done that every once in a while. It's more so just because I've stalled out and I'm like, I don't know what to call this one. You just randomly showed up. See him. Chat, what should we call him? The first person that posts the name gets it. And it's like, boom, instantly done.
Right.
Polls have been a good use as well for that. But the problem with polls is then you kind of kill the timer and you've got to wait, and then you've got to people lose interest like goldfish, like me. So
yes,
is that
it's attention spans, but we started like 6 years ago, and when we first we were like doing slapstick comedy shit on YouTube. We were like shooting each other with paintball guns, other kinds of dumb stuff like that. We literally played tic-tac-toe bareback with paintball guns on each other's backs. But we eventually moved into doing D&D live, and we wanted to do it differently. So we watched a lot of folks, and a lot of folks' streams are really good. And we do think there is a market for the more slow-paced, serious kind of shows. But we're young fucking punk rockers, and that shit just couldn't keep our attention, like not for a second. And so we realized there was a market for that, but it's not something we wanted to do. And one thing we did realize was, like, if I'm not actively involved with the show, it's hard to be, into this D&D thing. So we're like, okay, well, how the fuck do we get people actively involved? And when we first started, we only had, like 10 viewers. So like those 10 folks were like controlling our show. We let re-rolls of dice just happen all the time. And it was pretty fun. But we quickly realized that we weren't able to actually tell a functional story because there was just constant commands going off in our ears. And well, obviously there was a market for that too, because we did get a lot of audience at that point. But we have plenty of new commands and stuff that we've used. And so you said polls. Now, when it comes to polls, what I like to do currently on our Fallout campaign that we're doing, I'm trying to get as much chat interaction as I can. We're doing a world that hasn't yet been built, so we're not like playing in the Commonwealth or anything. So before I introduce to the players what the next location is, I have 4 options, and I put them in the poll, and then I continue my story while the poll is running. And then I just wait for the poll to end, and then I'm like, okay, well, they chat picked this. And the first time I did it, the options were like a gun shop, a caravan comes by, or a group of feral ghouls. And chat voted like 90% for feral ghouls, and one of the characters almost died. And I told them during our short rest, I was like, yeah, you could blame chat on that shit. You almost died because of chat. And they were like, motherfucker, what the hell?
Yeah. Good stuff. Yeah, no, that's
it's fun stuff.
It's good. So what you're doing is you're projecting, what's going to happen in 30 minutes, not what's going to happen now type stuff.
Yeah. So the number one thing we've done and we've had since we started is re-rolls. We have a rule: every D20 dice roll can be re-rolled 1 time. So if chat doesn't like the first outcome, they can re-roll it once. And we have a 2-minute cooldown on it. Cooldowns are key. They're very key. So if they can't get it off quick enough, or one just went off, they can't do it again.
Got it.
And that's number one. That's a staple of our show since we started. I mean, we have like theme songs about it on Spotify. We've actually written music about it. We used to call it Give a Dice. Now it's just re-roll, because when new people come in, they're like, what the hell is a Give a Dice? So we call it re-rolls now, but that's like a staple. And I feel like a lot of people do that too, but I've seen people are like, we want to be chat interactive, but they put a re-roll for like 5,000-6,000 channel points.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not, we have ours set at 300.
Yeah. 300 like, no, we want as many people to throw a re-roll as possible. Like, we want to have some fun with it. So
brand new person comes in, they get 300 points right off the bat, and they can make a re-roll and see the effects that they can have on our show. And they go, oh shit, I can actually do this. So then they might stick around, but there's a 3-minute cooldown, so they can't just fucking spam it,
Right. Yeah. That's a good idea. Might have to come up with some ideas for that one, because especially with our Monday night show, 'cause our Monday night show's got a ton of viewers, but we're trying to get the interaction of the player of the chat now. So that's the next step. So the only downfall is now I have to figure out if I'm allowed to do that, but we'll figure that out later. So
yeah, dude, that's a staple. We also, do you know what the deck of many things is?
I do know what the deck of many things is. It's a very dangerous thing.
It is. It's a thing that could kill some folks.
Yeah.
And back when we first started, I just bought a deck of many things and thought, hey, it'd be cool if chat could just make people draw from the deck of many things. I know, right? I was just using actual deck of many things. I was like, you get an item, you die, you're banished to a different plane.
And then you realized, oh shit.
Yeah. So what we've done since that first campaign way back in the day is I've actually made a custom deck. I call it the chaos cards is what we call it, and it's just got all different kinds of effects that I've just come up with. It's got about 100 cards in it, and it ranges, most of it's like role play shit. So like you have to talk in questions, you have to vertical flip your camera, you have to rhyme, you have to sing. One of them in there is like run into your house and put on oven mitts and come back. It's literally things that just add a little bit of chaos for like a minute. I think one of my favorite ones in there is to make a prank call to someone in your phone right now. And we have a Canadian player. And so he called somebody, but for him, it was like midnight. And he called, and you're supposed to talk in character too. And so he's this crazy wizard. I think he was like calling his girlfriend at the time. And he was just like, hey, I'm live right now, bitch. You should come watch. Like he prank called him. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. And, but there's a few in there that are wild. Like that are actually gameplay. There's not a lot of gameplay ones on there. They're mostly all role play, but there's one that like whatever the character is looking at, an anvil immediately falls on it. And one time one of our players was like making a joke about his dick, and then he got a chaos card and he got the anvil.
Oh god.
And so
I'm guessing.
yeah, I'm sure you can see how that went. And so there was a meme around our community for like 3 months. Dick safe from anvil today. His meme was just going around. It was pretty good. It was pretty good.
Yeah. So it sounds like you said, it sounds like you've built a community around this slapstick comedy twist to Dungeons and Dragons, which is really cool. And it does give a different feel. You know, a lot of stuff is very serious nowadays in the D&D world, and they're trying to tell this very dramatic and
serious
overly
story about these characters that
these heavy characters knows. And you're like, nah, dicks, anvils falling on dicks,
yeah. Like I feel like there has to be a balance. I always try to balance. It's like the comedy brings the people in, and then they stay for the story afterwards, right? There's like this overarching. There's always a good overarching story.
Yeah.
Like we just had
Adventure.
We just finished
did a lot like that too. So.
Hell yeah, they did. Fucking love Adventure Zone. We just finished our campaign of The Wild Beyond like Sunday this past week, and our players actually cried. So amongst all the comedy and stuff, there was like tears to be had. That's awesome. Real story shit happening. Yeah. Twisted Fates. Hello. Cheers.
Hello.
How are you? Yes. You have a
Twisted
question?
Fates is great. It's my game master for Thursday nights. He's the one that runs our Candela Obscura game. It is fantastic. Now, I will tell you, that one is a little bit difficult to run a slapstick comedy one, because that is the equivalency of Call of Cthulhu type feel. So it's very much,
We could do slapstick and Call of Cthulhu any day. Any day you want to see some funny shit and Call of Cthulhu, you got it. You know what I mean? There's a crazy tentacle demon monster, and he's like, I'm here to get you. Oh, we've got. We were just talking about doing
that. There's not a single thing in Call of Cthulhu that can't kill you.
I know. So he may sound funny, but you better fucking run. We were talking about doing Call of Cthulhu, but we're like, there's no way that you could do this for a full campaign. You've got 10 HP forever. There's just no way. There's just no way.
No.
Oh, I can though. See, Twisted Face got it. Yeah, it's pretty funny. I also think our stories, our streams that we do, our campaigns, they're always about 10 to 15 episodes.
Okay.
a lot of people think that's, that's crazy because a lot of people do like 60 to 100 episodes. And we've never done that. Even since we've started, we always do 10 to 15. We love playing characters and telling stories. And I love just wrapping up a story in 15 episodes.
Yeah.
And then I feel like an audience, if they see your campaign and see it's only 15 episodes of 2-hour long things, they might actually, listen to it.
So your campaigns are what, 2 hours, you said?
About
Your
2.5
shows are
to
about 2
3
hours. Yeah.
each episode. Yeah. Well, we do a lot of shenanigans that I cut out, but the YouTube VODs are about 2.5 hours. The streams are almost 4.
The streams are almost 4, but there's a lot of shenanigans that go on in the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We do like an intro and an outro, stuff like that.
Yeah. Awesome. Yeah, that's great. Because I mean, that's definitely the way to keep your audience, keep them entertained and keep them laughing. And then, as time goes by, the story hooks them as well. So that's what keeps them.
That's right.
Yeah. So what's this last campaign all about? What was that one about?
Why don't you tell me what your campaign's about? It's your turn to talk.
All right,
What's
fine.
your campaign about? Yeah.
Currently we are traveling through Icewind Dale, and we are trying to figure out the puzzle of why everything is frozen. But at the exact moment, our campaign is currently taking a small twist. As they have located an area within Icewind Dale that is not frozen currently. So that's what they're kind of figuring out, why that's that way, and why the cleric has decided that this is somewhere that needs to be protected. So we're working on it right now.
Nice. We did Icewind Dale. I did my own spin on it. Of course, as we talked about before the show, you got to change about 90% of everything. But I will say, Icewind Dale is not a campaign you can do in 10 to 15 episodes.
No.
It's just
so we're at episode 12 right now. We're barely through just learning Icewind Dale.
Like there's like the brewmasters and the dwarves, and there's like the mead place with the and there's like I don't know it. And I remember in our campaign there was something about an abandoned house that was up for sale. Is that actually in the book? Did you guys encounter that?
I think
yeah, we ended up doing a full-on fucking murder mystery inside of that house, and it was on Halloween. So each one of our players dressed up as a different member of Scooby-Doo. Well, at least our Grouch Couch crew did. So our two main players were sitting next to the cast of Scooby-Doo, and we did a murder mystery. It was fucking hilarious. And that was in our Icewind Dale campaign. Frozen Wasteland. Yes, indeed. And just for I don't know if that's your dungeon master there, but there may or may not be like a wizard or something that does ice things. And we renamed ours to Bick the Ice Wizard because of, we thought it was clever and funny because Lighter's Bick the Ice Wizard, but he's we thought that was funny.
That is good. Let's see here. Yeah, I don't think it. Do you remember what town you think it was in?
I have no idea. The only thing I do remember from Icewind Dale was that really cool town called Luther, I think is what it's called. Maybe something with an L, and it's like a town of thieves, and they have like signs up that are like "Watch your pockets."
Oh, East Haven.
East Haven, yeah, it's legal to fucking steal in East Haven. Yeah,
so we just finished right before we found the town of Stillwell, or the village of Stillwell, which is where they're at right now, where they found the world, the area where it's currently not covered in snow, and being protected by the goddess Shantea. It is currently, that's where they were coming from, was East Haven. So I did this whole, and it's crazy because we did this almost mixture of drama and then shenanigans. So the first half of the show was revealing the public execution for the Red Wizard.
Nice.
And I wrote out everything. So like everything that he was charged for, and I made it super dramatic. And then they went off to the town because they wanted to find a place to sleep. And they decided they were going to bring the small local tavern to life. So they all scattered across the town and made these signs and acted goofy to bring everybody back to the tavern. And there was this giant rave going on. Our goblin casted Mask of Many Faces, and then all of a sudden popped up with a plastic unicorn head and was running around on the screen. And I was like, okay, yep, this is what we're doing today. So we got this down.
Love that. That's classic D&D right there, baby.
Yeah.
Dramatic scene plan, players throw a rave. Hell yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we asked at the end of the night, and they're like, "Yeah, it was too much seriousness at the beginning. We had to shift the for the end." It's like, yeah, we're good. We understand balance. So
It's pretty good,
yeah.
man. Yeah, there's a bunch of different campaigns we played through over the 6 years, and I love taking source books and just changing everything about them, but keeping the concept the same. So we've done Icewind Dale, we just finished Wild Beyond the Wistlight, but my favorite module I think we've played out of all of them so far is for sure Waterdeep Dragon Heist. By all means.
Oh, really? I haven't played that one yet. I've read pieces of it, but I've never actually played it yet. So
yeah. It's like one of those modules where you have to get your players on board. And if you start with your players being a part of like these factions or whatever and being a part of the world, so there isn't like this big introduction, they just fit right in. They know what their goal is, and it just made sense through and through. And we actually played Waterdeep Dragon Heist using the ICRPG system. So it was a lot of fun for me to mix and match encounters. But it's such a good story, which I feel like is the point of a module anyway.
yeah.
Yeah. Such a good story.
It's a cool one though too, because no matter how many times you play that one, pretty much you're always going to have something different happen. So especially if the players want to pick different, mob bosses and shit to work with every time. So
hell yeah, because
that's what four or five technical different directions that the whole story can go no matter what. So yeah. I
just kind of set mine. I was like, this is what it's going to be. You can't give your players, you could make them think that they have unit.
Exactly. The illusion of choice.
Yeah, fuck all that.
Yeah, we broke that from people. Sorry. For all the players in here that think that they have full control, you don't. You believe you do. And we'll continue to make you believe that you do.
Well, I'm mad at the nerds. They haven't come here and brought the couch chaos. I'm mad at them. They're probably like, live on a Wednesday? What the fuck?
Live on a Wednesday?
Yeah. We got shit to do today, Turkey. That's fair.
So what else? Chat? What else do you guys want to know about audience participation, or only the dice gods have control of fate?
Well, so we do a lot. So the give a dice is the main one, and the cards are another main one. We also, for a high, the dice gods have control of fate. Yes. So for like a high channel point redemption, I actually have this beautiful box of magical item cards that people can give, items to them, and it ranges from just like a small ring that gives like +1 AC all the way up to the fucking Vorpal sword. And it's fun because it kind of removes me having to find magical items for them to get all the time.
Right.
And, sometimes as dungeon masters, I feel like we forget to give fun magical item rewards. And so it's really kind of helps. But these items still usually require attunement. So even if they get something, that's kind of like the limitation there. I think in a lot of these chat interaction things, there has to be some kind of a balance. Like, what's the drawback, right?
Right.
A player could get 5 items, but they can only be attuned to 3. So whoopsies. But there's a cooldown as well. Yeah.
Yeah. So if a player is gifted one through the chat, are they allowed to give it to another player, or they have to hold on to that because of the chat?
They can give it to whoever they want. I think it's fine, especially if a player draws like an item that requires druid attunement, and they aren't a druid. Then
got it. Yeah, it's kind of a jerk move at that point. Like, haha, you've got the druid staff. That sucks to be you. You can use it as a staff. You can hit somebody with it.
That's right. That's right. But man, we've done some crazy shit. We used to have this thing in our community called factions, and everyone in chat was allowed to pick an allegiance at the beginning or the end of a campaign, and we had 4 of them, and each one of the factions had a different theme. And I picked up these cards. I don't remember what they were called, but they were just like descriptive cards that was like, there's like a person, an attribute, and what they're doing, and I would just randomly shuffle and draw them, and I had each deck set up like themed for the factions. And I would just, so like Ironheads were like the strong people, the barbarians, so you'd have like He-Man and other kinds of shit. And I would let chat just summon NPCs into the scene that would have those attributes, and then my brain would just improv on them. So like a man that looks like He-Man has a squirt gun for a weapon and he's running, and I would just put it down and improv it, and I would let chat do that. Of course,
that ended up badly over time.
It was an outrageous amount of work. I remember one time each faction summoned one and then was like, we want to fight each other. So in the middle of our campaign, the factions were having their own fight and the players were just standing there watching as these people just brawled. And at that point I was like, all right, maybe we don't do this anymore. But it was really fun to do for a campaign. There was a lot of weird ass fucking lore that got created. Yeah.
Yeah.
Old
yeah, we
ladies
thought about doing.
throwing
I
cats
thought
and
about
shit.
doing that with the Icewind Dale one, of giving the option for at least people to side with one of the main factions, like the Zentarum or the Lord's Alliance, those types of things, or even the one currently that we're creating, which is the Heroes of Icewind Dale, which are all these little onesie twosie areas that are trying to reunite the entirety of Bryn Shander rather than 10 towns being split apart,
Right. Yeah. The rental home was inside of 10 towns, if I remember it right.
Well, yeah, but 10 towns is all the towns, so it's like,
oh, that doesn't help.
That doesn't help me.
That doesn't help. That doesn't help.
I mean, there's the abandoned ferry. That one's in East Haven. Which
one thing I will say about the factions, I realized quickly, we did a lot of fun shit with it because we had it for years. I mean, at least up until about a year and a half ago is when I finally got rid of it. But in like Discord, we had private chats for each one of the factions to be able to talk. And I started doing a thing called Faction Bingo, where I made bingo cards for every single one of our streams. And the first faction member to win bingo on their specific faction bingo card, they won like, a discount on their command the next week or whatever. And it was a lot of fun. But one thing I started to realize is that a lot of people just kind of want to join in and watch the stream and be passively actively involved, and the factions can be a lot of work for people to like pay attention and actually and a lot of people don't want to do it. It was like, come to a stream for work, and no thank you, you know what I mean?
No thank you.
People just want to sit back and watch.
Do you remember if it was the one in Lonelywood? You've got me on this goose chase now. I'm trying to figure out where the abandoned, there's a closed inn.
Here's the issue. I'm going to tell you. We changed all of the names of the cities in our campaign.
Okay.
So East Haven was Luther in our campaign. We changed all of them because we let chat name them, right? So
no clue.
Couldn't tell you.
Do you remember about?
I remember it was like.
Do you remember the Moose?
It was the big place in the middle. Well, even the taverns as well. Like we had like the Screaming Lion Inn, if I remember right. Could have been the Moose. I don't know.
No, there's a white moose who's like the killer moose of the fucking area.
Oh, I do remember that. And isn't there also like dogs as well, like white wolves?
Yes, different town, but man.
Yes.
Yeah, the moose is weird though, because the moose is like literally, covered in blood, and it's like killer moose of, killer bullwinkle.
Fun stuff. Look, man, that campaign for us was wild. We had a player character who was playing a unicorn. I don't know if you could pull up clips, but we do full costume, right? So he had an actual fucking unicorn head, like a rainbow mane and everything. It had a moving mouth and everything. It wasn't like a rubber one either. It was like a cloth fucking actual like, furry head. And so he was a horse, and he got mad over the course of the campaign because people were just riding other horses. And so he started a revolution to try to get rights for horses. And in the middle of the campaign, I had to throw an actual like court case where he had to represent himself in like one of the main towns to a fucking judge of people as to why horses should have rights and all this other bullshit. And then ever since then, in our world, in our community, everyone's like, you must ask before you ride a horse. Okay, you know what I mean? That campaign was wild.
You're like, why did this happen?
Why is this a thing? It was really fun though.
Do you remember which one it was called?
The city?
No, I mean the campaign.
It was Icewind Dale for sure.
I don't see it on your page. I was gonna link it for people.
Oh, that campaign. That
campaign.
I'll put it in the chat for you.
That's fine.
I'll put it in the chat for you. On our YouTube, it's in our legacy stuff because it's back when we were in a studio together.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's something to be said about when you're in the studio with people compared to the Zoom thing. I like it. I like the Zoom thing, and sometimes it has to be a requirement, but there is something about being actually around a table and rolling dice with friends.
Yeah, we would do a lot. I mean, if people watch our streams now, they think we were crazy. Nah, dude, we were crazy as shit when we were back with each other. We'd run around. Imagine us dancing together. You know what I'm saying?
Imagine us dancing together.
Yeah. Yeah, but we've always done full costume. I think Icewind Dale.
Yeah, I really enjoy the costume thing of it. I mean, we do full costume for the Icewind Dale campaign. We do full costume for the Candela Obscura campaign. It's been pretty solid.
Hell yeah.
For a while there, I was doing full costume for this because I have a Tavern Keeper costume, but then I got lazy. So, and mostly I will throw the Tavern Keeper costume on if I'm doing a actual roleplay interview. So there's that. So
here you go. Whoops, it got mad at me. Let me put it in here.
That's why I figured. Let me grab it. Let me do this thing. I will just copy it from the page and drop it in there. There we go. I win. Nice. It can get mad at you all at once. It can't get mad at me. So I am its owner.
And that's just a random episode from that.
Sounds good. But yeah, if you want to see the chaos that is a unicorn for a character.
In a full suit of armor.
In a full suit of armor.
Yeah, man. So chat involvement's always been a thing for me. And back on the task at hand here. Me and my homie Fishy, we've been friends like 13 years. He's one of the OG members of the Grouch. We always like, if you're putting on a show on Twitch, right? We always feel like you should treat it as like a show, and so we've always come at it that way. Right. Like if you're playing D&D or on a table with friends, then absolutely do that. Why are you live for that? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So we've always tried to be like, how are we entertaining the people, and how can they be involved? So we've just outrageous amount of commands and stuff like that, sound effects and chaos cards. And one of our newest things was being able to create an NPC, actually like a Google sheet that people would fill out. It was like a lot of points, and there can only be one redemption per stream, but they'd actually make an NPC, and I'd put it into the show. Back in the day, we did Acquisitions Incorporated, and they were like building an Adventurers League, and so I'd let people add to the Adventurers League, and by the end we had like 15 NPCs that were part of the Adventurers League, and it was a fucking blast. And it's cool to see the creativity, man, that people will come up with.
Well, yeah, and I think it's cool to see because you're going to see somebody who's invested in your story, and they're like, oh, I want to add to it, Yeah. And that's the big excitement of it, is when you start seeing people wanting to add to your story. So,
right.
But yeah, no, those are some good ideas. And I'm trying to think through the NPC one specifically for our Icewind Dale campaign, because like last week we had, I think Sunday or Monday, we had like averaged like 72 viewers or something. So it'd be great to actually get some audience from that. Great.
Yeah, dude.
So
yeah, dude.
But I also got to clear that with Gen Con, because that's overplayed on their channel. So I don't just have full rights on that one.
It's fun. Yeah. I did that too. I think, man, like 4 years ago or 5 years ago, we did some stuff on the Gen Con channel, and I just remembered like going into it being like, I guess we're here. Like, I don't know. They like give you the stream key and they're like, do the things, and we're like, okay.
Yeah, pretty much is what it was. They handed us the stream key and they said, so I get one of my good friends, Eric Wahlberg, is a big connector for Gen Con, and he was the one that reached out to me and was like, hey, we need a new GM, would you be interested? And I was like, sure. I mean, gets me that publicity a little bit, gets my name out there a little bit more, and slowly it keeps growing. I will say though, it's helped me add a couple extra people to the interview show and stuff like that and whatnot. Right. So it is what it is. But it's cool because I think it just gives a different set of audience and whatnot. Now, if I actually take the time and do the promotion portion of the game system that nobody ever does, like for me, like I don't do any of that. maybe it would grow faster, but right now it's a lot of work.
It's tough.
It's a lot of work.
It's a lot of work for sometimes no results, right? It is tough. And one thing I found, man, you have to find like some kind of a balance, and balancing shit is hard because like we have real lives too. You know what I mean? We work, you know, we got partners, whatever. So finding balance is always tough, and finding a way to be able to do things that are easier. Like there's so many utilities out there for us, right? Like fucking clip makers and promo thingies and you know, whatever. So
that might be a conversation you and I have offline because I don't know all those.
Right.
I could probably use the clip maker and things like that because
we post 3 reels a day.
Holy crap.
Every day. We post 3 reels a day, 1 from each one of our shows. It's just like me solo, my YouTube shit, and then 1 from each one of our shows, just clips. And you can schedule them. We post 3 a day, and I love doing that because there's so many little nuanced jokes. I feel like they can long form content, and when you put it into something that's easily digestible, it just makes it so much more fun. And even my players will watch the reels and then remember, and then you know it reinforces things. So it's good. And I tell people 3 reels a day, and they're like, "What the fuck and how?" I'm like, well, you know, utilize the tools at your fingertips. I also went to college for graphic design and minored in video editing.
So there is that benefit you've got going on as well.
That does help.
Yeah, I don't have any of that. So, what we got here? Arclight. What systems are you interested in trying out in the future that you think would work with your storytelling type?
Listen here. It's time to tell a story of stories. Arclight. No, I'm just kidding. There is actually a lot of Powered by the Apocalypse stuff actually gets some slack and actually some hate, I feel, because a lot of D&D players say that it's rules light. It's a lot of narrative driven kind of stuff. There's been a lot of systems that we've played in our past, actually, even like Blades in the Dark. It's kind of more narrative driven. The players are trying to build this heist together and talk about it. And I love
the slapstick comedy too.
Exactly. And I do love narrative driven stuff. So we're gonna try out Powered by the Apocalypse. In the past, you can really kind of do narrative stuff on top of anything as long as you go into it prepared for that and your players are into it and ready. I think it's good. Me and my players actually, before each one of our episodes, we do improv practices. We have this book. It's called Improv for Gamers, # not a sponsor. You can get it on Amazon, and we just do like 15 minutes of that, and it really opens it up because when you just meet up, there's always this awkwardness, you know, even if you know each other a long time. You can't just go in saying some dumb dorky shit. You got to kind of warm up and get into it. So if you just jump right into the dorky shit, not on camera, it kind of does help.
That is nice though. Like I said, I mean, that's kind of why we usually launch our streams we launch our videos about 30-45 minutes before every stream, so that everybody can kind of do their banter real fast, catch up on the week type stuff, and then launch the show. And also checks audio and all the technical stuff, because we all know as streamers that nothing always works every time you load it up.
Pretty much ever. Even 6 years into our shit, we still have technical difficulties. I thought it was my computer. It wasn't. It's something else. And dealing with Streamlabs every day, it's like, man, it just whatever. So I just kind of push through at this point. It's just become a joke. We just say, welcome to the Grouch Couch, everybody. Here we are. It kind of is what it is. I don't know if I answered Arclight's question well enough, but I hope I did. Sentinel Comics RPG was really narrative driven, and it's about superheroes, and it was a lot of fun. I enjoyed that one. We did 13 episodes of that, and it was pretty damn good. Yeah, I'm
looking forward to one I want to do here in the next probably year, because I'm not jumping anything new since I've got 3 streams right now. I'm just like, I can't do anything more. My kids are going to start doing, like, I'm going to start getting attacked by children, so that's what's going to happen. But no, one I want to do next year is probably the Marvel RPG, because that's been out, and they're doing a expansion with Spider-Man. Spider-Man's a huge motivation for me, so just kind of want to run that one. So
we looked into that one when we were looking up superheroes, and we were almost going to do it, and then like when it released, excuse me, because we were like on pre-order for it. When it
Yeah.
released, we realized that that's not a system to make your own custom superheroes.
Yeah.
It's to like play the superheroes that are already in Marvel. Like you can make a custom one, but you
It's
can
just
make
more
a
difficult. Yeah.
custom web slinger. And like, okay, you're Spider-Man. Yeah, but I do think the concept of it's cool because like the multiverse and stuff like that. You could be a different version of whatever. I think it's really cool. But we ended up going with Sentinel Comics instead because it's more customizable and what have you.
Yeah, actually, Sentinel Comics and Masks were one of the first streams that Arclight did too. So he definitely is.
Dude, Masks is pretty narrative driven. We actually one of our main characters from our side quester show on Thursday, his name's Billy the Wizard, and he's made it through 5 different campaigns. We keep bringing him along. So now Billy the Wizard's in our Fallout campaign, and I just posted a reel the other day when the wizard gets a shotgun, because he did, and he's a wizard. But he started in the Masks campaign, and he was like doing dimensional warp shit, and it was so much fun. Like narratively, he turned. We had a cyborg on our team as well, and he turned the cyborg into a truck. And since we do like visual gags on our show, I pulled up a Tonka truck PNG and put his face on it, and then everyone was riding in the back of a Tonka truck. And it's actually Big Jim Slade from Big Jim Slade Gaming. I don't know if you know who that is, but now forever we just call him Tonka Truck Jim, and that was fucking 2 years ago. Masks is a lot of fun. We only did 4 episodes of it, but I wish we could go back. It's so good.
I've never played Masks, so if you ever want to do a side quest, let me know. I'll come jump on that one. That one sounds like fun.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. But I don't know if it would be good for a full campaign, but I think 5 sessions maybe probably about the max you can get from that.
Arclight is actually, because I know he's diving into this portion. So Arclight is our grid master, so he does Power Rangers the RPG right now. So that's what he's running. Nice. I think he did 22 episodes of his first season, and then they just cut that one. So
nice.
Yeah, Renegade's got some interesting ones, and they're now, everything blends together too with Renegade games. So you can do Power Rangers, G.I. Joe, Transformers, My Little Pony, and you can make them all together.
You fucking name it. Yeah. We just did Everyday Heroes.
Okay.
On side quests, the last one we did, and it's cool. I think the main thing in that system was they have really good driving mechanics, like chase mechanics. We actually did a death race episode where they went to the death race realm because it's side questers multiverse. And it was cool, man. But why was I bringing this up? I don't remember, but it was good.
I was bringing this. I don't get it, but it was good.
I don't know. Whatever.
Yeah, it's fun. So yeah, no, these are good because, like I said, this allows people to see multiple game systems and things like that, which is great. How long does it normally take you to get the hang of a system before you're ready to drop it on board?
Well, it depends on the system. You know what I'm saying? The Fallout system, we tried to take 3 weeks. We only ended up meeting twice.
Okay.
And with the usefulness of virtual tabletops nowadays, if a game system has a VTT, we'll be good to go in about a week or 2. You know what I mean? It's so assisting. You just click attack and then it just does it for you. And if it's green, you hit. If it's red, you miss, But we've done hundreds and hundreds of systems. We did one called Magical Kitties Save the Day. And that one was pretty dang good. We had a couple of guest stars on that one, and I turned it into like this full-on actual like adult story. It was pretty good. They like little cat snuck into this library, and the books were like having like a political fucking argument. The fantasy books and the sci-fi books were like
arguing with each other.
Yeah. It's really good. And so that one took like one night. Super easy, super simple.
Everybody sat down, figured out what the system felt like, and then created the characters.
We've also done 3 goblins in a trench coat, honey heist, whatever, etc. And those take like an hour, if that. Yeah.
Those are super, super narrative driven. There's not much to them.
Oh my god! So single page RPGs, just so you know, and so all your players and everyone else here knows, the best single page. Everyone always goes Honey Heist or Crash Pandas. No. There's a really good one called. Fuck, I'm blanking on it. It's about skeletons. Hold on one second. I gotta pull up my YouTube channel. Hold on one second. It's the best single page I've ever played. Fucking Scared.
He's stuttering. Give him a second. He's gonna have to. He's got to restart.
Playlists. Where are you? One shots. I will find you. It's
Uh,
not Pirate Borg.
No, it's not Pirate Board. Pirate Board's not a one shot, or not a
No,
one.
it's not.
One page.
Although it could be. Oh, that was really good too. They had ship mechanics in Pirate Borg that I thought were just fucking banging.
Oh yeah, he put some serious mechanics for the ships.
The ships were, it was the best. Like, and we almost wanted to do like a normal campaign with a different system, but use adventure skeletons. That's what it was. Like, I think the word adventure skeletons. I think it was also made by Luke Stratton. I think. Maybe it wasn't Luke Stratton. Maybe it was who's that other guy who makes all the Honey Heist single pagers, whatever. I think it's in the description. Now, whatever, doesn't matter. But anyways, Adventure Skeletons is the best single page RPG I've ever played ever. And like, there's this mechanic where like you could, if your arm falls off as a skeleton, you could replace your arm with something else, like a sword or a human arm that you cut off another human and you put it on your arm, and like your skeletons. And it was just the coolest mechanic. So like by the end of the day, you're like, you've got a fucking rum barrel for your body and like, you know, a couple of peg legs. It's just so hilarious.
Just hysterical. Sounds good though.
Yeah, Adventure Skeletons, the best single pager. Super good. We played it with Another World Tabletop. He joined us. I don't know if you know who that is, but that was super good.
I don't know that one. We were doing for a while because we were kind of in this slog of not really sure what to play, and we were running out of players because players kept going in and out due to life. So we were playing Kick Ass and Chew Bubblegum, which is another fun one. So you get 10 pieces of you get 10 pieces of candy or 10 pieces of bubblegum, whatever you want to do, right? And it's all based on how many pieces you have of each. So you roll a d12. I might be doing this. It might be 8 pieces, and you roll a d10. One of the two. I can't remember off the top of my head. But pretty much, if you roll over it, then you chew bubblegum. But if you roll under it, you kick ass, and by the end of it, you're just kicking ass on everything. So because every time you fail, you have to eat a piece of bubblegum. So, yep.
That's funny.
I really enjoyed watching you all play Kick Ass or Chew Bubblegum. Yeah. One of our players, Matt, is a very, very slapstick comedy type GM as well on certain things. So he told us we were going into so he would pick a movie and then we would reenact the movie, but in a weird way. So instead of us going into the movie of Lord of the Rings, we were told that the ring needed to go to Mordor, but we had to go find Aragorn. And what we didn't know is that we were going to San Diego Comic-Con to go find Aragorn.
Nice.
So
nice.
Yeah. And then we took a Spaghetti Bill Millennium Falcon across it just went all off the rails. By the end of it, I was literally punching things to knock teeth out so that they hit buttons I needed to, because I couldn't actually chew any bubble gum anymore. It was all out. So I just had to find ways to hit something and it make the problem go away. So it got very creative very quickly. But
dude, I love that, man. Do you have like a favorite NPC the Dungeon Master's ever presented, or maybe one that you've made? Sort of like a character, but just like a one-off NPC that was just like fucking hilarious.
I mean, there's always that one-off, right? Like, you only wanted to put it for like 2 seconds, and then the players decided to adopt the motherfucker. Like, it was bad. So I didn't even come up with the dude's name. His name was John. Like, and Jonathan he was supposed to be one of the loggers that the party was carrying along with them to repair the ship. And during the night, one of our players sat down and wanted to have this philosophical, like, heart-to-heart with John, because John needed to go be an adventurer instead. So I had to come up with this entire backstory of John. And then like 6 months later in our campaign, they were at the capital city and they were walking through the town, and they ran into one of the guards, and it was John, and he had, completed his mission to be the in the military guard and stuff like that, and it was just hilarious to watch the players be like, "Oh, John actually like made it," and they like took him out for drinks and like all this craziness. So that was
That's so
John.
good. That's so good.
Yeah, John
man.
almost got killed by a displacer beast that night, and then the first night, and then they said, "No, John, you should actually be a adventurer and you should learn how to fight properly." And he went off to the military and became a royal guardsman and all that fun stuff. So, what about you?
Nice, dude. So on side questers, we're doing the multiverse right now. And for the first bit of our campaign, the first arc, they were at this agency where all different kinds of people from the multiverse were there to kind of help, return balance to the multiverse.
Mm-hmm.
So like Bob the Builder, Puss in Boots, the most weird knockoff characters I can come up with. But of course, it was Rob the Builder and Puss in Shoes because it's the multiverse. But my favorite character I came up with was a man named Noir. And he was completely black and white, and he just showed up at their like room in the agency to say hi. And we went on this long tangent, and every time he would say something to the players, he would turn to the side and start hitting his cigar and having like this existential thing,
Yeah.
I told him I was having an existential thing. But what he didn't know was that it actually wasn't existential. And then I turned back and talked to the players again, and each one of the players picked up on it and started doing the same thing. So all of us were having these noir flashbacks, and they called it like the noir flashback disease. One of the players was like, "I will not take part in this. Stop having flashbacks." And the theater kid on our troop, his name's Ray, he was like, "I fucking love this," and he just went off. And so we're like arguing with each other and doing these flashbacks. And the noir guy was probably my favorite NPC I ever came up with, just because of the whole bit. It was so fucking fun.
Oh, that's great. No, that's definitely one that you definitely will remember for a while. But I like the idea is you just trail off, and this is one of those moments. Or, the fourth wall type breaking stuff is fun too. So things like that, the Deadpool characters type mentality.
Hell yeah. The multiverse thing was ridiculously fun. Dora the Explorer was there, but she had Uzis. I made Iron Pan. He was the chef, so he's like Iron Man, but he was made out of cooking utensils. Batman was there, but he was washed up. And then, of course, there was just Scruffy the janitor, and he was just Scruffy the janitor from Futurama. He ended up being the leader of the rebellion and went with them to the next fucking realm, which is pretty good. Yeah, Scruffy the janitor. We had all kinds of different characters, and so that was a lot of fun coming up with these weird knockoff characters.
Well, the multiverse thing's kind of fun too, because like I said, with how you're playing just different RPGs, it just allows you just to jump in and out and stuff like that. So
exactly. And we get to bring the same characters with us. So Billy the Wizard, just to continue on. And then our other character, Han Velsing is his name. He's a sharpshooter.
Oh, really?
Instead of Van
Helsing, Han
Velsing. Yeah. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Sounds like your entire crew has got that same type of humor, which makes it really easy to keep rolling with it.
So too.
So what's your guys' like background like to come up with this stuff?
Well,
he's like, I can't keep a straight face. This doesn't work.
I don't know. Me and Fishy used to just party really heavily together and watch cartoons, and I think that had an effect on us. I've always loved Nickelodeon. I mean, like our logo's like orange, and so I think that kind of had an influence on it. But one of our players is Canadian. He's a stand-up comedian. The other player is a comic book artist. We have a theater nerd who like took theater all through college, and so we're all just like in the entertainment backgrounds.
There you go. Yeah,
just like whatever. And I've got video editing on my back. And so like punk rock, I was like, we're going into this, we're just gonna do it punk rock style, baby. We're just gonna be high energy and we're just gonna have some fucking fun.
Right.
One of the rules I always had was like, if you aren't having fun, like if the camera wasn't there, would you still be having fun and doing this thing? Because if not, you should probably stop fucking doing it or do something else. So we're always just trying to make sure we're having fun. At the end of the day, it's about creating fun shit and having fun, like no matter what.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it too, because that's really the main thing. If I stop having fun, the tavern will close. That is plain and simple. But
Right.
apparently, everybody else enjoys coming to hang out with us too, because we've had a good crew tonight, as well as guests continue to come. I've asked myself multiple times why anybody would want to come talk to me in the first place, but apparently they keep happening. That's why we're at 116. So
You build it, and they will come.
pretty much,
That's right.
I did.
That's
I built
right.
the tavern, and they came. So
Here's Bod. Mm-hmm.
as we're getting ready to close down the tavern for the evening, does anybody in the chat have a question for our wonderful Grouch Couch or myself?
Yes. I have questions.
You have questions. What question do you have?
If you, well, maybe I don't have questions. Do I have? Hold on.
Do you have a card set of card of questions?
Oh, you don't want that. Hold on. Where is it? I have this book. Oh. It is in here. I have all kinds of books. I love books. I love paper books. I love all different kinds of stuff. I love it so much. I love what we do so much that I roll dice by myself. I play solo RPGs by myself. I use a thing called Mythic Game Master Emulator. I play games by myself.
That's
but
awesome.
anyways, this is a book called A Dragon Walks into a Bar. Time for some jokes. Oh, we're on an ad break.
Oh, lame.
Oh, we're on an ad break. Cheers. Yes, this is a book full of D&D dad jokes.
D&D Dead. Oh, perfect. We
I
got
plan on
5
doing
more
a-
seconds for that ad to finish up, and then
Hell yeah. I plan on doing a whole video about these damn D&D dad jokes one day.
yeah. So we're gonna do some D&D dad jokes before we close out for the evening.
That's fucking right. All right. Dragon walks into a bar, everybody. Well, I'm just going to skim through here. I'm just going to random ones. And you, how about you give me a rating out of 10 if you think it's a good joke or not, all right?
There we go.
How about that? We'll play as a little game.
Play a game.
Why did the fighter bring his longsword to the wedding? It was his +1.
4.
4. Okay. Why can't zombies dance?
I don't know.
They just don't have any soul. That's not a good one. That gets like a 1, I think. What do you call a vampire goblin? A hemo goblin.
Yeah, a little better.
Why don't dragons like to eat paladins? They taste lawful.
Oof. I get it.
Where did the Dark Lord keep his evil armies?
I don't.
In his evil sleeveys. I don't get that one.
That one, no.
I don't get that one.
Evil sleeves.
What evil sleeves? I don't know. What did Sherlock Holmes think of the inner planes?
I don't know.
He found them elementally.
I mean, elementary is what he would say, but elementally, I guess, yeah.
Elemental planes, I guess.
Yeah. Some of these are okay. Some are pretty good.
Why did the fighter / mage keep asking everyone to fight her one-on-one?
No clue.
She was dual classed. This is a good one. What drink is most likely to keep you from harm? Invisibility.
With that, we'll have our final drink for the evening. And once again, it was wonderful to have you over here on the tavern tonight.
Thanks, bud.
Turk, give us our going away as you want to tell them where they can find you and who you are, and then we'll close it out for the evening.
Guys, friends, the secret of chefs, Arclight. You guys, thank you for joining us. If you want to ever come join in on the Grouch Couch, do some chat interaction, and you know what I mean? Maybe you have come guest star on the show, as well as you, my friend.
I'd love to.
Please join the community. We got a Discord on SideQuesters. We take on guests every single week. We're always doing different TTRPGs. And it's a lot of fun shit. Yes, indeedly deed. And I do plan on, I do a thing called Nerd Trivia. We just finished up, actually, is what we were doing previously. But we're going to be going into Dungeon Master Trivia. So if you're a Dungeon Master and you want to be on a trivia show, it's going to be Jeopardy. So come and join. We always love to collaborate. That's why I was so just like, yeah, I'll be on your show. Hell yeah, because I love meeting new friends. That's the big thing for me. You know what I mean? Yeah, so that's what it's all about, baby. Yeah, and if you want some short laughs, subscribe to us on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. We're fucking everywhere. If you type in the Grouch Couch with no spaces, there's like 100 things that come up. There's also this stupid freaking toy that was made by Hasbro.
Toy. My son loves that toy.
We have a P.O. box. All right. People send us stuff sometimes. I do like unboxings and stuff. It's a lot of fun. People send very thoughtful gifts. But I swear to God, I get like one of those things like once a month and I started burning them. I'm like recording videos of me burning this fucking toy. I'm like, quit sending it to me. I don't want it. Yeah.
That's great. That's a good way to end the evening too, because I'm telling you, the Grouch Couch, when I looked it up on YouTube, the first 40 things I saw was the dumb toy. So
I swear to fucking God, no spaces. You can't put spaces in it.
Yeah, as soon as you put spaces, you get the toy.
Fucking toy. God damn. Yeah.
Yeah. After I saw it too, I immediately remembered because my son got it for Christmas like 3 years ago, and it was like that's what he was playing with, and I remember having to grab, get the bugs off the couch and the toys and shit, and then you have to feed it. And
they haven't came for us yet. All right, but they're like out of country. I think it's actually like Hasbro Sweden or something that made the fucking toy.
I think so.
So there's
Hasbro
some
hasn't
kind of
found
like
you yet, is what it is.
Well, we actually
stalked you down.
Came up in here and trademarked the Grouch Couch first, because we started 7 years ago and that toy was made 4 years ago. So I think maybe that's why they haven't came for us yet. But I fucking hate it.
The fact that they send you that in P.O. box makes me laugh, though.
Fucking bastards. We also get some fun stuff too. People send us gummy dicks, like they're like gummies, but they're dicks, and they were the best damn gummies I ever had in my life. They're delicious. They were like, "You like my dicks?" I was like, "Hell yeah, bro! I ate all of them dicks. It was fucking delicious." Me and Fishy ate them together, and everyone else on the cast is like, "Oh, no one ever sends me any dicks." I'm like, "Too bad."
Get a P.O. box, bud.
Bad. That's it. That's
all right,
it.
y'all. Well, this is the Grouch Couch. I am your Game Master, Tabletop Misfits. I will be, of course, you can find us every Wednesday here over on at the Tavern, where we have a new guest every week, and we talk about crazy stuff like tonight, which was audience participation. You can also find me on Monday nights over at Gen Con TV and Thursday nights starting, this week over at Twisted Fates. Come hang out with us there. Hopefully we'll have some more audience participation. I'm trying to come up with ideas for the Tavern while the interview's going on, how the audience can participate. So if you have ideas, make sure you drop those off in our Discord, or if
Funny
not,
hats.
let us know in the next chat. It'd be great. All right. Until then, everybody have a wonderful week, and we'll see you guys on Monday over on Gen Con TV. Have a good day.
Toodles boodles.